our colleagues across the nations and regions with the news where you are. So it's your choice. So from all of us here on the 10, thanks for watching and good night.
Thanks, Hugh. On Look North tonight, reaction to the new report that says South Yorkshire Police missed opportunities to protect children from sexual abuse in Rotherham. Good evening. Survivors of grooming in Rotherham have been let down by a long-awaited report into failures by the police. That's according to South Yorkshire's Police Commissioner. The report that was published today details how South Yorkshire Police responded to the sexual abuse of around 1,400 girls in the town from 1997 to 2013. The force has apologised to victims. Our Home Affairs correspondent Emma Glasby reports.
Can't even put into words or describe the pain and the trauma that they've caused so many people. They actually just turned a blind eye to what were happening.
This woman, known as Elizabeth, was a child, barely even a teenager, when she was abused. Her parents repeatedly called South Yorkshire Police, asking them to do something. It took 15 years for her attacker to be brought to justice and jailed.
There was one occasion where my dad had rang the police station and a quite senior member of police had basically said it had been going on for a long time and that they couldn't do anything for the fear of racial tensions. When I came forward to the IOPC years later, they actually upheld that complaint.
The Independent Office for Police Conduct upheld 43 complaints, one from a father told by a police officer his 15-year-old daughter might learn her lesson after she was allegedly raped. In another, a child in an abduction case was handed over to police by a perpetrator in a deal not to arrest him. Some of the officers were unidentified, others retired or resigned without facing any action. No one at South Yorkshire Police lost their job over the failings. The IOPC says misconduct panels decide on disciplinary action and has today been defending the report.
There are criticisms that there has been no accountability because no officer has lost their job. In fact, the South Yorkshire Police and Crime Commissioner says this report lets victims down.
Well, I mean, those comments are both disappointing and surprising because the focus of this report is to draw together those systemic issues, to highlight what went wrong and why, and to highlight the learning recommendations that are designed to bring about real change. And those learning recommendations, when they were issued in November last year, were widely supported, including by the PCC.
It is now 8 years since the J report exposed the truth in Rotherham. More people have been brought to justice, 41 convictions in total. Today, South Yorkshire Police says the force is committed to investigating reports of child abuse. This was part of the latest operation in Rotherham.
We just need to have a word with you on your own, if that's all right.
4 men and a woman were arrested over allegations dating back to the 1990s. But after years of widespread abuse, there are many survivors struggling with the trauma of their childhoods.
It's something that's going to stay with me for the rest of my life. We talk about perpetrators and the trauma given by them and their abuse. Why can't we see accountability for the trauma that the police have given us? They were complicit by turning a blind eye.
Well, here's reaction from the Police and Crime Commissioner.
I'm disappointed. I think 8 years has been a long time. It's cost a lot of money. We were hoping to see something about the accountability of South Yorkshire Police, and there's very little here. I feel sorry for the officers who've had this hanging over them for a very long time. I feel sorry for the victims and survivors of CSE in Rotherham, because I don't think they've got any further forward with this, and I don't think we've learnt anything new.
Well, Rotherham's MP says the Independent Office for Police Conduct can only make recommendations.
So I've written to the Home Secretary today and asked her to give the IOPC, an independent body, the powers to actually initiate their own investigations and force through the changes that we need to see to have trust in our police force.
And South Yorkshire Police say big changes have been made.
The South Yorkshire Police of today is a different organisation, and we have learned the lessons of everything that was highlighted by the J review and the many reviews since that day. Today in Rotherham we have a specialist team to deal with child sexual exploitation. We work extensively with partners, and we have the infrastructure, training and the people to deal with it. We have a team of officers who are absolutely passionate about protecting victims of crime, and in particular vulnerable children. They are specially trained, they are compassionate, and absolutely we are determined to make sure that this never happens again.
In other news, it's been another day of disruption on the region's trains following yesterday's strike across the network. Passengers are being warned to avoid travel tomorrow, as there'll only be a limited service. And voters in Wakefield will head to the ballot box tomorrow to elect a new MP. There are 15 candidates. You can find out all about them on the BBC website. Here's Keely now with the weather.
Hello there, good evening. The heat continues into tomorrow, and for most of the day it will be a repeat performance. Dry and fine and feeling very warm in the sunshine, but there is the risk of some thunderstorms later on. And even though most places will avoid them and stay dry, if you do catch one, they could bring the odd torrential downpour. And it is the beginning of low pressure moving in for Friday and the weekend as well, so some changes on the horizon. Overnight tonight, though, a quiet night, long clear spells, and it won't be a cold night. Temperatures only falling back to around 12 or 13 degrees with a light breeze. Into tomorrow then, plenty of dry and fine weather, long sunny spells through the morning and on into the afternoon as well, but we will start to see a little bit more cloud as we head through the afternoon and certainly later in the day. And although most places will stay dry, there is the risk of the odd sharp shower, even the odd thunderstorm, the odd torrential downpour, but as I mentioned, most places avoiding them. Temperatures tomorrow getting up to around 27, 28 degrees, but it will begin to cool down from Friday onwards.
Thanks, Keely. That's all from the Late team. Good night.